Sino po ang finance ng OVP?
Yes.
Attorney Sanchez.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ako po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. You were aware na 125 million yung confidential fund ng opisina ni Vice President for 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And would you know, kailan po ko yung na-notify na na-download na yung amount na yun doon sa Office of the Vice President?
It's December 13, Mr. Chair, if I recall it correctly.
December 13 of 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
May I know why?
Mr. Chair, the Office of the Vice President requested for additional funding from the DBM, not only for the provision of confidential funds, but also for a supplemental budget for our socio-economic programs.
No. So the Vice President requested for confidential fund. Kailan po yun?
Sometime in August, Mr. Chair.
Tapos nagrantan lang ng December
Yes, Mr. Chair.
13. Okay. Now, may I ask lang bang, when was the amount withdrawn?
For the OBP, I think for the 2022, December 20, I think we'll check the document.
December
20,
2022.
2022 for the first.
One time na withdrawal.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
One time. Ang nag-withdraw, yung pong SDO, Special Dispersing Officer.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Madam, would you know si Attorney Sanchez? Would that be correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Bakit ginastos nyo kagad ito nung period na yon, when in fact you would have obligated it and you would have used it in 2023?
Mr. Chair, I do not have knowledge on the actual utilization, but in terms of the cash advance, Mr. Chair, there is no prohibition as to whether we can give the cash advance in 2022, Your Honor.
Di, kayo po ang mas marunong siguro sa SDO, ba't hindi nyo na lang sinabihan when the notice of cash allocation na receive nyo ng December 13, bakit hindi nyo na lang inobligate so that it will not be returned to the National Treasury? Kung na-obligate ninyo, you can use it in 2023. Di po ba, kung titignan nyo yung budget, merong unused appropriations. Number one is unobligated appropriations. At saka number two is yung hindi na issue sa inyo. Bakit inapuran ninyo?
Mr. Chair, for the obligation of cash of the confidential expenses, it is triggered by the issuance of the cash advance, Mr. Chair, and the documents for the request for the release of the cash advance was received by the accounting division and the budget division on December 20, Mr. Chair.
Kaya nga, na-receive niya ngayon, December 13, tapos pinaspasan nyo ng pag-liquidate. Di po ba? And therefore, nagkamali-mali na yung inyong opisina na pag-liquidate.
Mr. Chair, as to the issuance of the cash advance, as of the time that the cash advance was issued, we did not have information on the period that it will be used because it can be used even after December 31, Mr. Chair.
Kaya ngayon nga yung katanungan ngayon December 13, nakuha nyo yung na meron ng cash for the confidential fund. the first thing that you would have done is that hindi natin magagamit itong 125 billion within 11 days. Tama?
Mr. Chair, there is no requirement under the joint circular to use it within the 11-day period because it's for one quarter.
Ginamit nyo nga sa liquidation ninyo. You use it for 11 days. That's why your office committed mistakes in the liquidation. Kasi inapuran nyo When in fact, pwede naman yung i-obligate yun at saka nyo na lang i-liquidate. Di po ba?
Again, Mr. Chair, I would like to state for the record that I do not have knowledge on the actual utilization and disbursement from the confidential fund cash advance.
I'm amazed kasi kayo in charge ng finance sa office ng OVP, you do not know this. It's surprising on my part kasi I've worked with the controllership. Kaya nga ako nagtataka Bakit pinilit ninyo na i-liquidate o gamitin yung pondo 125 million in 11 days? Something must be wrong somewhere. Di po ba? Sabihin nyo sa akin, normal ba yun? Na 125 million gamitin mo in 11 days? As a finance officer.
Mr. Chair, for the 125 million, I do not have personal knowledge, but
Hindi. Ang tanong ko po, sagutin ninyo. Sa tingin po ninyo, being with finance, normal ba na gamitin yung 125 million in 11 days?
Mr. Chair, that would
Yes or no?
depend, Mr. Chair, on the nature of the transactions, Mr. Chair.
Are you trying to tell me that you could come up with transactions within 11 days, 5 of which are holidays?
Mr. Chair,
Pakisagot lang po.
Mr. Chair, in the government, there are transactions which exceed that amount, and the payment is
Like what, for
can be,
example?
purchases, Mr. Chair, but there may be purchases, Mr. Chair, that exceed that amount, or payment for other transactions, Mr. Chair, like
In the office of the OVP, anong transaction na ganun?
in the OVP, Your Honor, wala po kaming ganun transaction.
Kaya huwag mo akong pagsabihan ng ganun, Iha. Kasi, you're coming up with stories or events na wala kang ebidensya. You're a lawyer, right?
Yes,
And
Mr.
you
Chair.
say something, hihingan kita ng ebidensya. Wala kang may pakita sa akin
Yes, Mr. Chair. That's why early on I stated for the record,
Hindi,
Mr. Chair.
pero for a finance officer, you do not know na it is unusual for you to use 125 million in 11 days, 5 of which are holidays. Ako, naging controller ako, alam ko na imposible. Kaya ang ginagawa ng amin ay ino-obligate namin para magamit namin sa next year. At may liquidate namin na tama. Hindi yung ginawa po ninyo. Diba? Attorney, if you're really well-versed sa finance, dapat alam mo yun.
Mr. Chair, again, for the confidential expenses and the handling of the confidential fund, cash advance for confidential fund, hindi po ako involved sa process, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. For the confidential fund of DepEd, Land Bank, ito ba yung 3 quarters of 37.5 million each? One time din ba na winidraw ito?
3 withdrawals, 37.5.
So, ano yun? Every quarter?
I will check our records, sir. I cannot remember anymore.
So, pwedeng sinasabi ninyo, in 1 month, na-withdraw lahat to.
We will check our records, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Hindi rin masagot
Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Congressman Acop. Yes, Congressman Flores.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to make a follow-up on my suggestion kanina regarding Attorney Sanchez. Do we have that data already as to where I'm actually just concerned about the SDOs, si Fajarda and Acosta. Actually, si Attorney Ortonio doesn't need to be here. Attorney Lopez is already here, being the boss, di ba? I'm sure she could answer the questions that would be asked of Ortonio. But about, I just need to know where Fajarda and Acosta are, if they are on official travel.
Mr. Chair, I checked with the Central Records Unit of the Office of the Vice President. They are on official travel,
Where? What city po? What town?
but the travel order only indicated various areas. Mr.
Various.
Chair.
Nandali lang. Sorry, natawa ako dun. Various areas of what po? The Philippines, this planet, or the universe? Parang labo naman ng... You don't know where these persons are?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor.
At Attorney Lopez, you're the Chief of Staff. Wala ba tayong idea man lang, Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao ba ang activity? Or... Kasi most of the questions that have been asked, to be fair, could have been answered by these two persons. They're really the ones that are needed here to answer the questions of the members of this committee. So, ang tanong ko lang po, if they are really on official travel, saan po?
Respectfully, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, if I may read the travel order in toto. All right. Just a moment. Travel Order 2024-1037. In the interest of public service, Edward D. Fajarda is hereby authorized to travel on official business to continue the monitoring and facilitation of the preparations and rollout of the OVP anniversary activities in various areas on November 18 to 22, 2024. And then the second would be while outside of his official station, he is authorized to collect allowance for daily travel expenses, incur actual travel expenses in accordance with Executive Order number 77, chargeable against OVP funds, subject to existing budgeting.
So, parang
accounting.
general po yung travel order nila, travel authority nila. But who would be the person in the OVP who could at least give an idea as to where or what part of the Philippines they are in now?
Your Honor, as mentioned early on, we do have a rollout of
Kaya nga, but I'm sure,
But the
meron naman tong
exact-
assignments. Ikaw, doon ka. Ikaw, dito ka. Di, imposible naman na all over lang sila, di ba? Sino po ang may alam niyan? Kasi, again, I'm gonna repeat why I want them here. Because most of the questions are actually directed to them, di ba?
We understand, Your
Eh,
Honor.
pangit naman, kayo tinatanong, ipapasa nyo lang din na dapat sila. It could have been, properly done kung nandito din sila. And we've been treating you fairly naman, di ba? None of you have been
We
cited in
understand.
contempt. You're all here. You're all eating your own food nga, di ba? I noticed. I think it's better than our food. Di ba? So,
I do understand, Your Honor, but as mentioned earlier, number one, I have not really gone through that.
again, I'm just asking for who among the officers of the OVP would have an idea as to their exact whereabouts? None? Kasi if you're a government officer, di ba? You're assigned to travel. Aren't you supposed to show that this is my certificate of appearance? I went to this particular office to justify your travel. Tama po ba? Di ba? So saan ngayon ang pinupuntahan nila? Is it any of the offices, satellite offices of the OVP? No one will answer?
On my end, Your Honor, I really have no personal knowledge. Kasi ang nabasa ko rin po is various areas.
Who gave the travel authority?
May I see again? Just a moment, please.
Sige.
The travel authority was signed by the Assistant Chief of Staff, Your Honor, Mr. Ortonio.
So, pinapa-excuse ko na sana. Diba? So, he's your assistant, right? Can you not call him up and say, where are these persons ba? I'm just interested with Acosta and Fajarda.
I will try to reach out to him, Your Honor.
Also, you cannot contact your assistant, chief of staff?
Oh, because when I arrived, as mentioned earlier,
Oh.
yes, I arrived only and reported to the office yesterday. I have not seen him,
Kaya nga,
actually.
but I'm sure there are means of communication. He being your assistant. In this day and age, I'm sure someone could get in touch with Anyone? Would you not agree, Attorney Lopez?
I will try to reach
Okay, I'll
out.
give you a few minutes, ha? Thank you.